Hello and welcome everybody to the Gaming Reality Show. Yes, we're back.
Yeah, it's been a few busy couple of weeks, but we're back.
Been a little busy. Pelham has been busy. He just moved, and I have been doing a lot of things. If you're following up with me, then you probably know what's going on with me. But Pelham, if you want to let the audience know what you've been up to.
Yeah, I moved house. It was great. It's really cold because there's no heating in it yet, and I now have fiber, so I can stream. Everyone watch me. There will be a link to my stream somewhere on here and in the YouTube comments / description.
And Pelham is also a community owner of Argent Gaming, which is an OC-based community, if I'm right.
That is true. I am the founder and community leader of Argent Gaming, Oceanic and soon to be Southeast Asian gaming community.
Well, look at that. All right, and then you guys know me. I'm on twitter.com/SarModen, and you guys know where to get me. Any new secret information is probably available on there because I'm a blabbermouth. But I really want to get right into it because there's a lot of shit that went down. And to be honest, when we were going to do this show today, I did not know it fell on E3, and I was like, fuck, yes, we have some shit to actually talk about, so that's actually cool. So yeah, there's a lot of E3 topics we really want to talk about. From Anthem, Star Wars Battlefront 2, A Way Out. There's a new trademarked item, I guess, Microsoft has done with Direct Reality, which I'm really curious on what that's about. And an upcoming game known as, what is it called? Kingdom Come Deliverance? I think you just literally told me, and I actually set that up right at the end. And
yeah, I gave you a trailer roughly 3 minutes ago.
Yeah, and I set it up. I was like, oh shit. We're also going to be talking about Final Fantasy XIV and its upcoming expansion called Stormblood, Secret World Legends with early access on June 23rd, and Ashes of Creation, which is going worldwide now. It's going crazy. So let's start with Anthem. I actually have the trailer here available for you guys to watch if you haven't seen it today. And we'll take a gander, then we'll kind of deduce what we're looking into.
That's good, because I was asleep for almost all of these trailers, so I've only seen a couple of them, so live reactions.
The wall. It's our armor. It protects us from what lies beyond. But out there, you either live with the choices you make, or die trying to change them. The story doesn't end here. It's just the beginning.
Well, damn.
Yeah, that looks like Terra Nova.
All we know is what?
There's a wall.
There's a wall. It was really vague on what they showed over on E3 today. If you guys were watching it on live stream, I don't know. What was your feedback on that? Like when you saw it?
Well, knowing that it's a BioWare game, chances are they're going to use half the assets from Mass Effect Andromeda because it was terrible.
Yeah,
you can already tell that by looking at the armor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a very Terra Nova / Final Fantasy Spirits Within movie feel.
Yeah,
with the caged and the wilderness outside the wall. Could be good, could be terrible.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was looking into it, and it feels a little like Activision's Destiny, just a smidge. Just from the thing, I'm not gonna lie. When I watched it today on E3, it said the wall. It's separate. I was like, has someone been talking to Donald Trump? What's okay. And then I kept watching, and it felt like all these monsters that they're keeping away from the wall are like these immigrants. But anyway, that's a whole political spiel that I won't go about. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. You know, it's the executive producer from the original Mass Effect trilogy. You could definitely tell that from the trailer, teaser, I guess, was what you would really call it. And BioWare. I mean, BioWare's always been awesome, definitely.
Well, they were awesome. The last few games they've had were a bit,
yeah. But
isn't their head writer like just a fanfic writer from Tumblr that they hired for the main sort of story of Andromeda.
Yeah.
Literally has no experience. So it wouldn't surprise me if they did, in fact, take Donald Trump's wall and just sci-fi it.
No, it was just interesting. I like BioWare because of, you know, Knights of the Old Republic and shit, so I hold some love for them in that regard, but it's kind of interesting. I'm curious to see where this goes, and I know I think BioWare is actually coming out with a Star Wars open world RPG coming out. That's rumored. I know there was going to be one like a few years ago, then it was canceled, and now they're like, you know, something's in the talks. So yeah, that was interesting. And there's also another game called A Way Out. I don't know if you want to kind of introduce this game.
Well, it looks like Prison Break, which is a great series. Well, season 1 was. The rest got a bit in the air. But the entire game has to be played in co-op. So if you don't have any friends like me, you're shit out of luck. And the dev or one of the directors was actually saying you have to be in co-op mode to actually play the game. It's the whole thing's split screen. You either have to be playing online or with the mate on the couch sort of thing. It's really weird because there's 2 characters in the game and each player controls a different character. And you would need to, I guess, escape prison. I was asleep for most of it. I sort of caught up just before the show.
All right, so A Way Out.
What's your plan?
It's my plan, and I decide what goes down. You got that?
Yeah.
Come on, Leo!
My name is Joseph Fares, and I'm the writer-director of A Way Out. A Way Out is a story-driven co-op game. It is designed, played, and experienced only in split-screen co-op, which means you have to play the game with a friend, either online or on your couch. The game starts in a prison. You play as Vincent and Leo. You and a friend will get to know your characters and unfold their story together.
You don't know anything about me, man.
Maybe not. But Harvey killed someone very close to me. With or without you, I'm going after him.
Let me show you some of the scenarios in the game. On the right side, you see Leo, who's already in prison. On the left, you see Vincent, who just arrived. Now if you look to the right again, you can see that Leo can be controlled, while Vincent is in a cutscene. Here is another one. Vincent and Leo are now in the laundry room. Your goal is to smuggle sheets using a laundry cart. You can approach the scenario in different ways. Either get the cart with Vincent.
You know, I got a good pack right here. I think it's got your name on it. It's broken. I don't know.
Or with Leo.
Get over here, you idiot!
Yeah, but I think those 2 guys are just about to fight.
What the?
What? Who's him?
In A Way Out, you will experience something new all the time. Everything you do in the game is unique for that scene. We want you and your friend to be focused and engaged throughout the entire story. But let me tell you, this is just the beginning of what you will be experiencing in A Way Out.
Give me a gun! Get him! Run, run, run! Relax, man, I got this.
Yeah, it's strange. I gotta say, I love Leo's sideburns. That definitely makes the game for me.
Yeah, hits home. But no, the one thing that I noticed is I don't really like split screen if it's side to side, but I do like it when it, like, you know, you can go top and bottom, because then I feel like you have more visibility for the field of view, right? So I saw that when they were doing the car scene, and I was like, oh, okay, so you can change it, or maybe it's just for the car scene. I hope it's not just for that.
You'd hope you can change it. Those Yeah, games where you have to have verticals and split screen is just a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But no, I mean, I'm pretty interested in it. I don't know if I would really play it, because I don't know if that's my type of game, but plus I don't really have that many friends. But I mean, I'm sure you and I could hook up and we play, but I don't know. I don't know if it's my type of game. I'm more for this open world games.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I think the big thing will depend on replayability. Like,
Yeah.
how many different ways could you possibly escape a prison, and
Yeah.
then what looked like robbing a convenience store
Yep,
to go hunt after this guy called Harvey? Like, it's
No,
yeah.
So I don't know. I
From
mean,
what we saw, there was only 2 or 3 different ways of getting out of that laundry room just then.
right.
Hopefully, the entire game's not like that, and that actually changes what happens in the game.
Maybe the game is about escaping the laundry room. But yeah, that's a way out. And yeah, no, I'm kind of interested in the game. I'm not entirely sure how that will work out, but one thing I've got to say, and I'm happy that Pelham is here, because I think a few months ago when we first started out and we were doing this, we were talking about Battlefront 2, and he's like, "Oh, that game's gonna be shit." Same for what was it, Destiny 2 also. So we saw the trailer today. Let me tell you. It's, in fact, let's just show you.
Sector is clear. Not clear! Not clear! All wings! We're coming up on the Star Destroyer, but we need to clear that escort. Let's give him everything we got!
Here are next assignments. They are unusual.
Grab onto something!
I'm trying!
Sorry. So we're gonna actually show you some of the gameplay called Assault on Speed, and you'll be able to see, some of the cool stuff that's going on while we talk about it, and our hopes and dreams for Battlefront 2, and hopefully they don't fuck it up like they did Battlefront 1, because I did love Battlefront 1 at first, but there's I thought it would change quite a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and start the video.
We saw the clone era. That was definitely lacking in the first one. It's almost like the devs decided to play Battlefront 2 from the PS2 era and go, holy shit, we need all of these cool features. And then, like the only thing I'm slightly concerned with, the flying and the ship combat looks like it's possibly on rails, which could be a bit shit, but the ground combat looks great.
Yeah, no. I watched the trailer and I was like, oh shit. Whew. And the thing with me, it's like I really like to watch the video and like get into it with the music, and I love like the variation of the song they use, because it's not it's not really in movies, right? So they did it for the game, obviously. So it was really cool to kind of get that feel of it. And then when they showed right afterwards, they showed this gameplay that you guys are probably watching right now. It was cool because they were explaining that a lot has changed, right? So before in Battlefront 1, you would go ahead and pick up these, I guess, orbs around the map, which would then indicate if you're going to be a ship, or if you're going to go ahead and use a special power, or maybe you're going to be a Jedi, or whatever the case, right? Or hero, I guess is what they call them, or villain. In this case, they have, I don't know what they call it, I think it was Battlefront points. I don't remember. So with the points system, you collect it throughout the match, and you can unlock pretty much all of them. So you can kill and kill, you know, as a separatist or as a, you know, as a clone, and collect all these points. And once you do, you can go ahead and buy your hero or buy the ship, and then just kind of play it throughout the game as much as you want. So you kind of see it at the end of the video that there's this guy that was just Darth Maul nonstop. It was the same Darth Maul all the time. You know, he died and came back, died and came back. So it was really cool.
I actually have to take what I said back after looking at the gameplay right now. The ship combat does not look like it's on rails like the trailer shows. And I just saw it in mid-air collision, which was really cool.
Yeah, no, they definitely improved it, and you know, that's something that I think DICE is probably one of the best things at doing is flight combat, especially with like Battlefront. You know, it was crazy with Battlefront, so, or not Battlefront, Battlefield. I know Battlefront 1, you know, it wasn't that great, just because I really hated the fact that you would have to go ahead and pick up things. I'm not against the whole point system for getting your ships, but I would like more to like have a limited amount of ships on the ground, and you have to like manually get into it and then fly off the ground. So that's my dream. I don't know.
They had that in Battlefront 2.
They did,
back
yeah.
in the day.
I know they did, and Battlefront 1 too. They did.
So you might see it eventually, like actual, yeah, it'll be fun. I just hope there's a large diversity of weapons.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing about Battlefront 1, the original Battlefront 1, was the Jump Trooper. I love the Jump Trooper because I would use him, and he had this, you know, he would fly around, and he was, I remember he was green? I think he was green, and he would shoot this EMP grenade launcher, I guess, and it would like kill all the, you know, the robots. So it was cool to see that they're like, yeah, so we have some specialized classes, you know, depending on, you know, how good you're doing and all that stuff, you'll get them. And you have the Jump Trooper, and you have all these other ones, you know, that are, I don't know, I've just found that pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that they're spanning all the eras. That's the main thing. It's being able to play a clone, then go all the way through to being a stormtrooper, then possibly a first order stormtrooper. Could be kind of cool.
Yeah, especially like if you, I don't know if you do it, but I know I find myself doing it a lot, is going into a game of, I would say like any shooter really, like whether it was Call of Duty or Battlefront or even Battlefield. I would get into the game, and then like, okay, I won one or lost one, I would stay in that same lobby until it queued and went to the next one, right? So it's cool to see like the possibility that if you're like have a Clone War era, sorry, you can go ahead into like the pre-log area, or the, you know, the ones where everything is completely, you know, spanning out all three eras. And you know, now you have the new one, right, with, you know, Kylo Ren and stuff, and they showed that in the trailer too. So, you know, it's kind of cool to see that you can switch.
Yeah, and the other really interesting thing is all DLC content has been confirmed to be 100% free. That means maps and stuff. Fairly sure to cover that, EA are going to just riddle the game with microtransactions, but the content itself will be free. So I guess that means possibly if we get a Episode 8 content, if we do get it for the game, it'll be free.
So it's really cool that they're taking the initiative of, I'm hoping it's true, like they stick with their word of saying the DLC will be free, because if so, then that means they're sticking to the original spirit of the game, right? Because Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2, the originals, they had their DLC and it was free.
That's another thing. I hope there's more maps and gameplay, like I guess game styles, than Battlefront 1. Because having like the same 6 maps and then, oh look, we can now play on Jakku. The same map over and over again.
Yeah, or the same. They also had a bad habit of having like the same planet, but like different areas in that planet for different game modes. I found that a little weird. I know they said that with the first, when it comes out, it'll have 8 maps. I believe, if I saw that correctly. Yeah. I don't know. It said something about going out in 8 maps is going to be available when the game comes out. What is it, November 17th or something like that? I don't even know.
Well, that's not necessarily bad considering how big the map looks from what we can see in the gameplay video.
Right.
Like, where in the Battlefront 1, the maps were fairly small. Well, not so much small, they were just very linear and, yeah, small.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Where, looking at the Battle of Theed here, it's a huge-ass fucking city that, yeah, millions of troops. Not a small, shitty little linear pathway on Endor.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see that. That's the one thing I missed about not the original, but the Battlefront 1 that came out a year ago or something. Was Naboo. I love Naboo. I love the the overall structure of Naboo and everything. So it was cool that they brought it as part of their gameplay trailer, right? Because the people that were playing at E3 were playing the game. Like, these are actual players that are playing the game, and that were being recorded. And you can see a lot of live streams that are available now on their YouTube channels, especially big YouTubers. But no, I'm pretty excited. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I'm just hoping. Yeah, they learn from the mistakes of Battlefront 1.
Yeah, and I was in Discord earlier, and I was talking to some people, and I'm like, because I was watching this specific video that's being played in the background right now, and I was like, oh my god, they learned from their original shit. I can't believe it. They learned, and I was just super excited. Oh my god, look at that, using the B2 battle droid. It's beautiful. But no, I mean, I'm pretty excited. I don't know if you guys are, but definitely excited.
I just hope the heroes aren't superly overpowered. Like, I can understand a lightsaber slicing through a robot pretty quickly, but
that's so funny you just mentioned that, because as you said that, like, Darth Maul popped up. He's literally right now.
Yeah.
I like that in the video, they show like the specialty, what he does. He has Force Choke, which, was not in the original movie, or not even in the movies. It wasn't in the original games. And you see here that you have Boba Fett also, so that's actually kind of fancy. I think you're going to see a lot of hero fight from here. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, as long as they aren't super crazy and depending on how many you can have on your side at once, like as you can pretty much be one of the heroes when you gather enough BP or battle points, you don't want the entire team to be able to just randomly have 50 fucking Boba Fetts appear, because that would be really bad.
Oh god, no. And I think they'll separate it. Like, if you already chose something, then you can't be that same person. Because I remember, in Battlefront 2, there was like a shit ton of fucking what was it, Darth Mauls, and we would just go crazy. Because Darth Maul was the best in Battlefront 2, in the original. He was super fun.
He was the fastest for sure.
He was super fast, and he would just kill everybody. Yeah, so here you can kind of see like some of the special weaponry you can unlock. I know you'll be able to see one of the droids actually get out a machine gun, so that's actually kind of interesting. Someone said that, or the limit of them, so I won't let you choose it. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, is like, I'm pretty sure that they'll limit to, like, if one person in your team decided to choose Boba Fett, then you can't be it. And there's like the officer. Yeah. So I don't know. We just started watching the video and kind of reacting to the video. It totally went off script there for a sec. But yeah, we'll continue watching it. Oh, here's the jump trooper that I was talking about, dude. It's not like the shock trooper that I'm used to, but you know, it's one of the ones that comes out with a rocket launcher and shoots everybody and says "fuck this." That was my favorite guy.
Yeah, at least it looks like you can't just choose the perk of having a jetpack like you could back in the first one.
Yeah, that kind of ruined it for me.
Having the specific classes is kind of nice.
Oh shit, Ray and Darth Maul going at it.
Yeah, that's an interesting matchup right there.
Oh, Ray just got destroyed by a droid.
Freaking my immersion right there.
That just tells you what the upcoming movie's about. Oh no.
Well, he came back, what, 3-4 times now in the Clone Wars TV series? And in the Rebels TV series, so...
And you know what? They did pretty good. They did pretty good. I don't know. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Big Star Wars fan. I love them. I love them to death. So to see, you know, Battlefront 1 was pretty good, but to see, like, all these eras here, you know, the nostalgia is strong.
Yeah, I can never look at Han Solo in games the same ever again after playing that Kinect Star Wars game and doing the Han Solo dance.
The Han Solo dance? Oh my god. How was that?
It's terrible. I'll throw a link soon.
Someone says, I love Darth Maul's Sith Apache spin move. Yeah, he goes into a fucking helicopter mode, man. But yeah, the video's not that. It's almost done here.
I'm a Separatist fan, so I'm excited.
I'm just gonna go on whichever team wins.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not gonna be too picky here.
Okay, you just jump and ship. I understand that. You know, no loyalties. Maybe you are Sith after all.
Maybe I am.
Oh, who knows? Shots fired. Shots fired.
Yeah. So in this third phase, though, in the droid.
Yeah, the jetpack trooper looks great.
It's like Yoda screaming autism spins in 1 of 3 movies. Well, yeah, I don't know why he did that in the first 3 movies. It was something. It's better than Emperor with his crazy fucking hurricane.
With the sheave spin.
It's turned into some hurricane or some shit. Alright. So yeah, no, there's that is the Star Wars Battlefront 2 coming out, what, November 17? Yeah, November 17, 2017, I believe. It's said that they're actually going to have more information coming out in Gamescom, and they also have single player mode courtesy of Criterion Games.
Yeah, having a single player campaign is good because that was missing.
Oh, it
From the
really
first
was. No, it really was, because that's what made Star Wars, right?
Yeah, and even the guy that plays Finn in Episode 7 even came out on Twitter and was like, "Where the fuck's my campaign, EA?"
Yeah, no, it's true.
I remember that was a big controversial thing where he's complaining there was no campaign in the first game.
Yeah. Well, it's not terrible. I mean, we're just pretty... I think I can speak for both of us when I say, like, we're pretty fucking excited for the game. Especially if it's going to look exactly, you know, like what we've seen for the gameplay. I feel like the graphics might be toned down a little bit. Because if I remember from Battlefront 1, last year, or was it 2015? 2015, I think? They had... Yeah, they had their beta and it looked amazing, but like when the game came out, it felt like they downgraded maybe a little bit. But it really came out with Sullust when they come out with that map, you know, all the lava and, you know, the rocks.
Yeah.
Really beautiful. I was like, shit, goddamn, DICE, you're great at what you're doing.
You know, the best thing about the PC version was you could download the real life photographic texture mod, and yeah, the game looked like it was real life.
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube. I couldn't really do it for myself, but yeah. All right, well, we spent like 15 minutes speaking about Star Wars, so, yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing.
It's really not a bad thing, but I mean, I mean, yeah. So there's an upcoming game called Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't seen this video, so this is gonna be my first time. Pally actually, you know, told me, "Yo, this is going on." I was like, "Oh, okay, shit. Well, let's look at it." Is there anything you want to like introduce me with for this game?
Not really. I got a link roughly 30 seconds before we went on saying, hey, check this out, new trailer.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I saw it, and that's about it.
All right. Well, let's take a look at it. It's called, I don't even know what it's called. Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Peggy 16.
It's got a very chivalry.
A sword such as this will bring honor to its bearer.
This is nice work. It's new, isn't it?
You know the trouble with an adventurous life, son? It can end before it gets started. I might teach you how to handle a sword, and then someone will shoot you with a crossbow.
Now, for the maiden bloodletting. Surely your father never would have imagined it would be your blood. Such miserable luck. To die by the sword you helped forge.
Sometimes I ask myself what it all means. Why does God allow such things to happen? All this slaughter and revenge, over and over.
Tell me, boy, who are you? What in hell's name happened?
I've come from Skalitz. They burned it to the ground, slaughtered everyone.
Who burned it to the ground?
That's him. That's the bastard who led the attack at Skalitz and killed my parents.
I'm sure we're all agreed that all this unrest must come to an end.
I finally have the feeling we're doing something worthwhile. We're helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
To put a stop to this senseless war.
Yeah, well, I'm a sucker for medieval games, and that looks like it has potential. Just wish we saw gameplay.
That was really good, dude. I wasn't expecting it. Like, I saw the graphics when we were watching the video, and I was like, I don't know about this. And then I really got in. I was like, the music, shit, all right. You know, I've talked about my music. But, like, I don't know. That really drew me in. I thought it was in a fucking movie. I was like, shit, what is this?
Yeah, it's already performing better than King Arthur did at the cinema the other week.
Oh, no, don't shade that. But no, I mean, it looked really, wow. I actually am really intrigued to play it. I love RPGs. I love MMORPGs, as most people know. So I'm actually pretty hyped to play this. And I'm not a big medieval guy. I really am not. But this just looked like it really drew me in. Like the story, if that's like the story of it, wow.
Yeah, there's not much information, unfortunately, apart from that trailer. I haven't seen any in-game footage at all.
No, I mean, I can't even. I'm looking for something, but I really can't find anything. Let's see. It's Warhorse Studios, I believe, that are just. Oh, okay. So the game comes out globally on 2018. Okay, and it's made by CryEngine, with the developer Warhorse Studios. Oh shit. Oh, and Deep Silver is also the publisher. I know those guys.
Looks like it's getting a Steam release.
Is it? Oh, that's gonna
a Steam logo at the bottom, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see it now. It's on Polygon. Yeah, it's sad they don't really have it. Okay, so yeah, it's being developed for the PS4, Windows PC, Xbox One, and it might be at E3. I don't know. They haven't said anything, so let's see.
Yeah, they just shown the trailer at E3, so it's possible we may actually get some mild gameplay footage at least.
Mm-hmm. So according to this, the game is set in 15th century Bohemia and features a classic tale of murder and revenge set in a rough and tumble late medieval world. The game begins with the main character's family is killed off by a band of marauders who attack their remote village. Wow. Okay, so I don't know. I'm pretty interested in playing the game. Like I said, I'm not usually into medieval things, but I'm glad you actually sent this to me. I was kind of curious.
Yeah, there's a nice little tidbit here. Depending on your decision, depends on how the game progresses as well. Which looks really interesting. So if you kill some peasant at the start of the game, he may be, if you didn't kill him in another playthrough, he may actually be a helpful ally at the end.
Yeah, dude, I love that shit, dude.
Could be really good.
Love that shit. Not a lot of games have that, but they used to. I think there's more coming these days, especially like with MMOs are coming. They're doing that. I know EverQuest Next was trying to do that. Like any what's it called? Any actions you take on the world affect you in a positive or negative way, just based on how it plays out for you. So everyone has like a different kind of possibility of having a different ending in the game or a different outcome. That's cool.
as long as your decisions actually affect the game a bit, unlike the original Star Wars, where getting dark side points just made you be able to cast dark side powers a bit easier.
Well, isn't that Knights of the Old Republic 2?
1 and 2 are very similar in that regard.
Yeah, I know Sith Lords. I used to play that shit all the time. And I would just go dark, and then I stand in the middle, and I just went light. So I was like, whatever. I played all three different things. But no, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty interested in it. It's called Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Coming out next year.
Coming out next year. February 13th, 2018. Dungeons Without Dragons RPG Lands. That's their thing. That's pretty cool. All right.
Oh, here we go. Here's another interesting part before we change to another topic.
Yeah.
Depending on what you do, depending on how renowned you get and famous you get, depends on how NPCs will react to you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So if you travel to another village and you're literally just a peasant, they'll have no idea who you are. But if you're sitting there smashing people with swords and killing people and you get a name for yourself, you may get discounts or get to meet the governor's daughter.
What the fuck? That's awesome. Ah, dude, I don't know. That just screams Skyrim. I loved Skyrim. I'm like one of those edge people that love Skyrim, but I love Skyrim, dude. And the fact that, even the other Elder Scrolls, but it just really screams out this feel about it, especially when it's like more modern, not modern, but like more like real life, medieval rather than like fantasy medieval with like magic and shit like that. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah, without magic, it still works, provided they don't include weird shit like fantasy creatures. Like as long as it's humans versus humans with swords and crossbows, that's cool. As soon as you have that with no magic, but all of a sudden there's a fucking dragon, nah.
All right, so we're gonna talk to one of Pelham's favorite games, Final Fantasy XIV, new Stormblood expansion.
That's right. New Stormblood expansion comes out on Friday. For me, at least. I'm not sure what it is for the rest of the world, but in Australia, 7 p.m. Friday Eastern Standard Time, you'll get your ability to play if you've got early access.
And
2 new classes. It's interesting.
Oh, there's 2 new classes, you said?
There is. There's a samurai, which I'm pretty sure every player wants to be because it's a samurai.
Yeah.
And there's a red mage, which doesn't look like it plays like a typical red mage from the rest of the Final Fantasy series, but it still has that red mage feel.
Okay.
Both of them DPS classes, so there's no new tanks and no new healers, but that's okay. A lot of new content, 2 new continents to go to, which looks really good. And yeah, the server that I currently play on is locked, so unfortunately you can't play with me, but if you wanted to. Probably should say spoilers, just in case those
spoilers.
The previous expansions costs. Yeah.
帝国による る支配から20年。自由か死か、そのどちらかを得るための戦いが今始まる。
Alright, fine. I'll watch it for I'll do it for you guys.
Sure. Yeah, so the premise of it is there's the nation to the south east called Alamigo, which is currently occupied by the Empire, and there's rebels fighting them and shit. And at the end of the previous expansion, which is the content they're doing now, they tried to ensue a civil war between every nation. So we broke through the wall. We're now going to go and I guess free the rebels and free that nation from Empire's control, and yeah.
Okay, alright.
Then there's a bit of story about the whole Eastern Japanese thing, which there's not a lot mentioned at the moment.
Right.
But we will be going to Doma, which is the weird eastern side of the map. And that's where the samurai class comes into it.
And you said there's gonna be new jobs, a new combat system, and it's dropping the PS3 support.
Yeah, it was initially it was for the PS3 and PC, and then the PS4 came out. They got PS4 support, but because of the PS3 support, they had to tone down some things, like give us less inventory space. And my old mate Alash, they took his arse polygons from his character between version 1 and 2. It is true. There was a graphical downsize, and I will find a picture for you. But yeah, the arses are actually smaller on new characters than the 1.0 version of the game. Supposedly it's for PS3 limitations, but we can't be sure. They're also simplifying combat because there was a very large amount of skill bloat.
Yeah.
And certain things as well. You had to level certain classes to get their skills called cross-class abilities. They're removing that aspect of the thing, so once you hit the right level for it, you can get that skill anyway.
Okay.
So before, it was needed as a healer, for example, to use the Black Mage's instant cast ability, but that would mean you have to level it Black Mage to level 26, and if you're a healer, it kind of is useless. Now you just have to get to 26, and as far as I'm aware, it pops up for you.
And the community for Final Fantasy is good with this, or I know a lot of when there's big changes, especially combat stuff, it's either a really good thing or a really bad thing. So what does the community think about that?
It's had good reception so far. Bit of an issue with the healer side of things because the lead dev and director of the game told us that healers don't have to do damage and DPS anymore, and everyone that's hardcore is like, nah, fuck that, healers are meant to do damage.
Right.
Because right now, I can cast regen on someone and that pretty much covers them for the whole fight. I don't have to heal anymore. Which means I can sit there and watch Netflix and be okay with it. The DPSs aren't fond of that because it looks like I'm doing sweet fuck all, which in reality I am. But my job is a healer, and I'm healing. If I was to do DPS, I would have rolled a damage dealer.
Yeah.
So they're removing the there's a thing called Cleric Stance, which switches our stats around to make us do damage. They're removing that ability, so yeah. Which will be fun.
Okay, and the new job system you were mentioning?
Yeah, we get a samurai, which you've probably seen do all sorts of weird slice and dicey shit in the trailer. I personally will never touch a samurai, but I'm sure it appeals to everyone that loves Japan out there.
Right.
I don't know, it just doesn't look like it does much for me. The red mage though looks kind of interesting. It looks like a caster that can switch into melee, does some fencing, sort of stabby McStabs with a rapier, and then jumps back out to range and starts casting again. It's a bit strange. I reckon it's probably going to be one of the more technical classes to play because there's not a lot of jumping in and out in most of these fights, so it's going to be strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, the entire premise of this expansion looks like we're liberating the desert people.
I don't know. It looks pretty cool. I mean, I've never. I know I played Final Fantasy XIV, like A Realm Reborn, right? Like this was years ago, right? So this wasn't like current, right? So I'm not up to current where how the community is, how the game is, you know, how the content is whatsoever. So it's really cool to see. Especially, you know, I hear like the game's, you know, membership is growing and, you know, it's constantly stable, and it's actually a really good community, apparently.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I think apart from World of Warcraft, this is really the only other massive MMO that has a sub that still has a sub and hasn't gone free to play. It's really weird in that regard. Population is crazy. Like the server I'm on, they actually had to lock for creating new characters and transfers just because of how populated it is.
Yeah.
And there was rumor that they're going to offer free transfers to get off my server onto a less populated one, just because, yeah, it's a bit skewed at the moment.
Understood. All right.
But yeah, overall it looks good, and yeah, it's if you want to play with me, we will eventually be transferring to Cactor on the Aether data center.
And it comes out on Friday, you said? Head start?
Friday is early access if you pre-ordered it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it comes out on the 20th, whatever day that is.
All right. Well, that's Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood expansion. All right, the next game we'll be talking about is Secret World Legends. So, a lot of people have been looking at Secret World Legends, which is actually interesting because a lot of people didn't really appreciate the original Secret World. Me personally, I thought Secret World was actually one of the best games for storytelling. The ARPG type of aspect they put in, especially with the, you know, creators of Black Watchmen and other games. I thought it was fantastic. I thought the investigation was really cool because it wasn't even part of your quest. You know, you just had to go ahead and you're like, oh shit, this symbolism over here, I have to look it up in the real world and try to figure out what that means to figure out what the next clue is to figure out whatever, right? So I thought that was really fantastic. So if you're interested in the Secret World Legends, early access is June 23rd, and if you were a previous member of the Secret World, and your account was active within the last 30 days, I think actually it's not even, this deal is not even on the table anymore, I don't believe. But
yeah, I'm not sure. I know a couple of
yesterday.
My guildies are playing it.
Okay.
One of them never actually hasn't played in the last couple of months, but because he got to like the highest level and the highest rank in the Templar Order, he's still somehow got access to the beta.
And it's random because, you know, one of my members, they paid the $430 something Grand Master Pack and spent that much money into the game. So they didn't even get access to the beta, and they've been playing constantly in the last month and all that stuff. So if you got access, cool. You know, make sure to check your spam, make sure to check your inboxes. Maybe you got in. It's still an NDA, so not like we can really talk about it, but it's looking pretty fantastic. If you guys have seen some of the videos they've posted on Facebook, on YouTube, you know, on Twitter, posted some snippets on what's going on with the game. You know, all the DLC will be free. So if you know, like, the original Secret World, you had to actually pay for the DLC expansions. So like the Tokyo expansion, the London expansions, and all that stuff. So to see that it's actually moving over here, it's actually pretty fantastic. I'll be playing over there. Pretty excited to actually play again. They've changed combat system and a lot of the, you know, systems according to their what's it called? Ask Me Anything on Reddit. I know Pelham is saying that he might actually play.
I'll definitely be having a go, especially because I loved the first one. The fact that they actually bought websites to add all this weird cryptic shit into it just to make the game feel more puzzling was really cool.
Mm.
In-game browser, not many games have that either, which was really cool as well. Combat was a bit clunky, but I was okay with it because I don't really... The story is what makes games for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it had a good effect. I'll definitely be looking it out. My community will definitely be there. No idea if there's several servers or whatnot yet, but we'll be there in some aspect.
Yep. And maybe we'll be in the same server and just, you know, duking it out, having some fun. You know, maybe creating some events for people. You know, we are looking up. We're gonna be, at least my guild will be recruiting actively at the end of this month. So I'm pretty hyped because, you know, that guild is a brand new guild, brand new community. And more information on that later on on Twitter, on my Twitter at least. All right, so moving on from that, the main reason why a lot of people are playing this or excited about Secret World Secret World Legends is because they're moving into an upcoming game that has finally, for the first time, a game is featured on mainstream media like CBS. Ashes of Creation. So they met their $3 million goal. Holy crap. Like, they met $750,000. That was their goal for the whole Kickstarter. You know, that was their goal. Like, all right, well, we need $750. That's what we need. That's all we need. And they met that in 11 hours and 7 minutes. They met their 1 million in less than 24 hours, and they had these stretch goals where it's like, well, if you keep donating or backing up, or I don't know what kickstarting, I don't even know like the proper terminology is, backing the game, we'll give you these goals that will unlock in the game, and we'll give it to all the players. So it went to the final stretch goal, which was $3 million, and they actually met that $3 million at the end, at the last day. Thousands of players, you know, super excited. I think it was, well, it was a 19. I could be totally wrong. Let me actually look before I see. But I think it was 19,000. Yeah, 19,576 backers, and the game is $3,271,809. Dude, that is the #1 most funded MMORPG in Kickstarter history now, and the 6th most funded.
Let's just hope this one comes out, unlike Star Citizen.
Well, this one has a lot more transparency, I like to think, than Star Citizen or any other.
The devs being in constant communication with us is definitely a good thing.
Yeah, and you know, they're always on Discord. If you're not on Discord, go to discord.gg/Ashes of Creation. And the dev's always there. There's some sexy moderators. I don't know who they are. Never met them in my life. But really good people overall. One thing I can really say about the game is that, you know, Steven is really, really, really passionate about the game. I mean, I don't know if you actually saw it, the video on CBS, Pelham.
I did not, because it's actually banned in my country.
No way.
The one I was looking at anyway, it said, unable to view in your country. I was like, you serious? We have to turn a VPN on to watch this? So I have not actually seen it, no.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't put it on here, because who knows, but on CBS, they were interviewed. It was Steven and Jeffrey, and they were there, and they were talking about the game, and you know, their goals and their visions, and you know, the overall excitement for the game. So I thought that was really fantastic to see, not to see just an MMORPG, but to see this game that you know, I've been super hyped for since December, and I told Pelham about it. I think it was in January, or it could have been December also.
Yeah, it was late December, early January.
Yeah,
like
holiday
period.
When they first like announced it, you know, they made the Discord, and I was like one of the first people there, and I was like super hyped, and I was like, all right. And the community was not big, and I was telling some people about it. I was like, here, you know, look at this game. You know, it might not be huge, but who knows? You know, a couple months, you know, fast forward a couple months later, like half a year actually, technically. And, you know, it's got one of the biggest communities right now. It's got over 150,000 people in the alpha's not even out, registered. The Discord is actually one of the biggest Discords that's ever been available for MMORPGs. They actually had to reach out to Discord to have a special privilege to actually increase server capacity just for that Discord. So I don't know, man. It's like it's like wow, we really hit the jackpot for MMOs. I'm hyped, but I'm trying to be realistic because you never know, right? We've been disappointed a lot.
We all saw an EverQuest next. That died in the ass. Yeah, the fact that the lead dev is a gamer himself and has played MMOs in the past definitely helps the cause, because most other MMOs out there, most of the devs probably haven't even touched a video game in their life. They're just programmers. So it definitely has some things. I just hope that they don't cripple under the pressure of the community getting bigger. It means there's going to be a lot more people expecting a lot more different things.
And that's one of the cool things about Steven with his past in marketing is I think he's kind of used to speaking to a large variety of people, a big diverse group of people that he can go ahead and say, okay, well, this is the product. We'd like to take your suggestions, but we can't promise any change, but we want to make sure that it's the best product for everybody, right? So I'm thinking that could be the exact same thing here for Ashes of Creation, because he really cares, but it's his vision. But at the same time, he might not be right about some things. He wants to get the feedback of people. That's why his videos that he's constantly coming out and behind the scenes. He's asking for opinions. With beasts and mounts and pets. If you're on the Discord and it's Discord exclusive, he's like, what do you guys think about this? What would you like to change about this? What color do you think about? I think that's fantastic, because you don't see that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that most devs don't even look at their public until alpha or even beta in most cases now.
No, definitely not. And with the Kickstarter finished, there's a new store coming out later this month apparently. They're actually waiting for the Kickstarter list to be handed over to them, so then they can actually launch their store. I don't know about that. What do you think about a store opening up? I mean, it's pretty common, I guess.
I think it depends what's in it. Like, is it going to be more sort of Kickstarter-esque stuff for people that couldn't do the Kickstarter because they don't have credit cards and stuff, or will it be physical merchandise? Because I personally would like a pair of thongs or flip-flops or sandals for those foreigners with an Ashes of Creation logo on it.
Of course.
I reckon that'd be really cool.
Right at the tip. But from what I know, it's for the people that really couldn't, because some country laws are really, really strict. Germany, for example, you wouldn't be able to really get a package that you really wanted to get unless it's like a specific amount. Like if it's over that specific amount, then it's like you're screwed. People don't have some people don't have credit cards, myself included. Well, that's a whole different story, but they use PayPal, and that's their one method, or Google Wallet, or whatever the case. If Google Wallet's still really a thing, but I'm down with it. The one thing that I'm not down with is I'm hoping that there's some things that are Kickstarter exclusives, and I hope they stay that way. I know there are going to be some exclusive available, but not at the same price and stuff. So I'm kind of fine with that. And they did release like a preview of the store, like at the beginning of the month, but it wasn't set in stone. It was just kind of like, a show and tell, basically, to see how the plugin works, I guess, because it's with Kickstarter or something like that. So, like the lifetime subscription, I guess it was like $800, and I was like, holy shit! But at the same time, I was like, oh, well, it kind of makes sense, because
yeah, I can understand things being more expensive now, because there would be a bit of a shitstorm if their lifetime sub was $400 early access again, like the early bird special. I think a lot of people that got the $400 one from Kickstarter would be not happy, because it was supposed to be a Kickstarter exclusive according to the Discord info we have. But other things like skins, I consider them a pre-order bonus, so technically it doesn't really matter where it comes from.
Yeah.
But yeah, things like lifetime sub, I reckon that's a very touchy subject for a lot of people. Even in the Oceanic Ashes of Creation Discord, there's a lot of people freaking out about a lifetime sub being available outside of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, and I mean, it's understandable, but I don't know. Who knows? Like they still haven't released the store. They haven't released anything, but who knows? Let's talk about the race. There's a Underrealm race that's coming out.
Yeah, because we hit I'm not sure if it was a monetary Kickstarter goal or however many backers we got goal, but there's going to be an underground race that are animalistic and bestial, but they're not going to be a full-on furry looking race. They're just going to have like tails and shit. Supposedly they get to choose their own passive. I haven't read much about it, but it was pretty big chat in Discord the other day. Sounds like they could be overpowered if it is true.
Well, it depends on the passives that are available to you, though. Because it could be limited, yeah. You know,
it could just be complete speculation as well. I honestly haven't been paying attention to the new race because it doesn't interest me. But
yeah,
if you get the ability to choose the passive and some of them are kind of funky, it may sway a lot of min maxes to go that race just for the pure benefit of having whatever they have.
Racials, yeah. And the one thing I like about the whole Underrealm thing is the fact that they were expanding about it, and it was cool because they were like, all right, so we're going to get the Underrealm because you guys reach, I think it was a monetary if I remember correctly, but I don't know, don't quote me on that.
Yeah, it's one of those two.
And they're like, okay, they were explaining it on the last live stream, I believe. So the Underrealm is like a separate, it's okay, so it's one big ass world obviously, but it's a separate world underneath the world of man, I guess. And anything that affects the top affects the bottom. Anything, you know, in the bottom you can have housing, you can have your own, you can live there basically, but you can also come out to the top, and the top can always go out to the bottom. So it's just like, if you really think about it, it's like mole people and they have like their own civilization at the very bottom of the earth, right? So I don't know, I like that it's going for that different diversity. I know it's going for that very Dungeons and Dragons type of thing, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how dwarven role players will go. Like if they're living in the Underrealm and they're scared to go on land because they could fall into the sky. Now that could be hilarious.
Yeah.
And we have guilds that just live entirely underground because they're scared they're going to fall into the sky. Now that would be hilarious, but great at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm pretty interested in to see not just that race, but to see the other races, because they've announced the races. Cool. I'd like to see the racials and how they affect the characters, and you know, a lot of people in the Discord ask me constantly on a daily basis, even in DMs, like, hey, what are you going to be? What are you going to be as a race? What are you going to be as a class? I'm like, well, I really want to be healer, but I want to make sure what is the best racial for my healer, and that means choosing that race. It's not really about min-maxing, but it's just more, well, I guess kind of is, but you know, being the most effective in healing for, you know, in my group, in my raid, in my guild. So I want to make sure.
Yeah, I've already decided. I'll be rolling a Vec orc, because astral orcs just sound cool as shit. And I'll either be a tank cleric or a fighter cleric. I'm not really sure yet, but it'll be something, one of those two. And it's going to be fun because I'll be like an astral orc with divine powers, smiting shit.
Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, not much we can really go on for races, but let's see.
We just don't know anything.
Yeah. So as this is the only really, I guess, decent game coming out anytime soon, and it's got the attention of, you know, not even just the online media, but mainstream media. In any way possible, it's one of the most recognizable communities out there at this very moment for a game that's really not coming out. So the question is, will this cause a lot of conflict and politics in the background of the servers?
Well, I reckon it will. The fact that every gaming community pretty much that plays MMOs has their eyes on Ashes of Creation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of past fights that guilds hate each other. Like, I personally have a rival guild. Looking at you, Myrmidons, you're terrible.
Mm-hmm.
If they happen to be on my server in Ashes of Creation, chances are we'll be at war with them constantly because, yeah. But other guilds, they may not like how certain people do things, and it'll cause a massive conflict. But you may see some super crazy strong alliances between like massive communities that have now like thousands of players uniting to wipe out half a server. It has been said that super big zergs aren't going to be great on the server. Like, they're not going to have super huge amounts of power. But if you get an organized group of several large communities together, that's going to cause a problem, regardless of how many sort of limitations you put on what they can do.
Yeah, and if we're going to get the cat out of the bag, there's tons of, and I'm not speaking as any person in position of power. I'm talking about as a member of Ashes of Creation, as a someone that's hyped and someone that's going to be a part of a guild. There's a lot, and this is really early. There's a lot of guilds right now trying for their play at power. Now, I've seen this a shit ton of times in many MMOs, but they're doing this thing where, like, they have I think I've counted like 13 discords now, that it's all like this Illuminati-esque type of setting where it's like, all right, we are a huge ass alliance of guilds, but we're not really allied. We're just kind of working together, and we want to go ahead and control the nodes, pass them off to one another in a peaceful environment, and organize things and really control the server together. We're not really allied in system as a game, but we're allied as I guess as a council of players. I've seen this shit in tons of MMOs, and I've seen it fall, and I've seen it die faster than anything, but it's not just one that I've seen. Like, there's been multiple, and I've been invited to all these and these power plays. I don't know what you think about that. I know what you think about that.
Yeah, don't worry. I've also been invited to a large number of them. This was before Oceanic servers were confirmed. I had invites from like 7 different people, like, oh my god, come join our secret community and council and shit. Because you're Oceanic, you play in the off-peak hours, so you can look after our shit while we're offline. And I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
I've seen your alliances and councils and all the bullshit fall apart very, like, often. Like, every game I've played that has this sort of style, open worldness and player interaction, has fallen apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. And it's weird to see this early on. That's just what I'm trying to say. It's cool to see guilds form. I think it's kind of a little premature because if you're a gaming community, then it's fine. If you are trying to create a gaming community from Ashes of Creation and gather people and then kind of play games, I guess that's cool. But if you're just a guild and you're like, all right, we are just a guild for Ashes of Creation, and we're going to plan shit for the next 2 years, then I think that maybe you have a little bit of problems. And I respect you nonetheless, but it's just, I don't know about me, but that's just not for me, at least.
Yeah, I did see a guild. They started up about 3 weeks ago now. That they're an elf-only guild, which is disgusting. Just straight away. But
wow.
What is an elf-only guild going to do for the next 2 years?
I don't know. There's also a rogue-only guild, or is it a predator-only guild? I don't remember. And they just want to go invisible and like troll people. And I was like, all right, well, okay. I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm pretty interested in how that goes. The community is definitely amazing, but it's. I think there's just like any game, especially with this one, largely promoting PvE and PvP. Definitely, there's going to be quite a bit of conflict in politics and backstabbing and betrayal and BS that we're probably going to hear about, and it'll be probably quickly taken care of. Yeah.
Just expect the large amount of YouTube videos of people being pissed off with other guilds.
So, with that said, how many of these new guilds being made are actually going to make it to release? I kind of have something to say about that. So,
I reckon...
I don't know. Like 50%? Maybe.
Yeah, I'd say around that. Like, it depends. Pre-established communities clearly going to exist past the release of the game. Random small, like this elf-only guild, I have a feeling unless they're bonding something crazy over playing the harp next to a tree or something, I have a pretty big feeling it's going to fall apart. Like, I'd say at least half of them are going to disappear within the next year.
Yeah, no, and I've seen some of these guilds that are promising, being hardcore and semi-hardcore, and trying to promote, trying to like look at all these other guilds and trying to like use that as inspiration to work with, and that's kind of cool. But I find like these guilds, especially being led by I've seen some leaders that are like underage or that are, you know, absolutely have no idea how to manage a guild or a community, or don't know the essential necessity of PR. Oh god, that is so important, and I hate that, but it is. Or the necessity of being able to market yourselves, or, you know, being able to network with other guilds. You know, I don't know. I know there's these guilds that are really huge right now, but I feel like they're gonna break off into multiple ones and make different ones, and they're all just gonna go into a different guild, or it's gonna be like a big ass wave, and there's probably gonna be one big ass Zerg guild right now, and then die off and go and make another Zerg guild out of the remains of dead guilds. I don't know.
Yeah, well, supposedly there's an actual Russian guild, which I didn't even think there was much coverage in Russia at the moment. But there's supposedly a Russian guild with roughly 1,200 players in it that are formed for Ashes of Creation now.
God, that's right.
I know what Russians are like in games. It's going to be horrible, undoubtedly, and they're probably going to try and kill the economy. But I have a feeling a 1,200-man Russian guild isn't going to exist at release.
Yeah.
There'll be power plays and struggles and just breaking apart in general, because 2 years is a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely lots of information that, you know, is being shared around, and lots of guilds being made, and lots of little groups and lots of cliques. So I'm curious to see, you know, how they grow from here. You know, there's still quite a bit. There's still friends and family later this year, hopefully in October. Hoping to see a lot of people there. You know, there's going to be NDA later on this year as well. And after that, what else? There's also the alpha for Kickstarter people, and then the betas. So I'm hoping that, you know, it really does a big turnout, because sure, there's over 150,000 people subscribe or registered to the game. But if that really is the size of the community, holy god, the guilds are not the thing we're gonna have to worry about. It's just the influx of people and the amount of servers.
Isn't each server meant to have roughly
10,000, yeah,
at any time? Which means
concurrently, yeah.
Yeah. With 150,000 just now alone, it's going to require a fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's assuming like half of it is like, that's assuming like half of it is like, what? I don't know. Let me think. EU, and the other half. Okay. I'm sorry, Pelham. This is assuming 1/3 is Oceanic, 1/3 is NA, and 1/3 is EU. You know, that's still quite a bit. You know, that's still a few servers. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I can definitely say that the Oceanic community is not 1/3 of the current population. I'd say it's probably 1/6, but not 1/3.
There's still time, though. At the current time, probably.
Yeah.
But
and I've noticed there's a next to no coverage in Southeast Asia as well. That is a very huge market. Definitely. If they get coverage in there. That's, yeah.
Yeah, and someone said realistically, though, can the devs carry the hype for the next 18 months? And the reality of the matter is, I don't think the devs are even trying to create the hype. I think we, the community, are. That's why they're not really paying for advertisements. That's why you are the advertiser. You know, that's their whole mantra that they're going for. You know, that's why you have a referral link and you're inviting people. You're creating the hype. Me, myself, and Pelham, at this very moment, we're creating a hype for whoever's watching, in a sense, you know, from what we've just spoken about. So, if the question is if the community will hype it over, I think that's really up to the community. I don't think it's really up to the devs. I think they're doing a fantastic job. I think the Kickstarter video they did was one of the best fucking produced videos in the world. For a Kickstarter or anything, really, shit. It was just fantastic.
Although on that same note, there is the problem that pretty much between the end of this year and Kickstarter Alpha, everything's NDA. Not a lot of info is going to get released unless the devs release it themselves, which could potentially harm it with just a lack of coverage being thrown out there.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, that's Ash of the Creation, and I think we're pretty excited about it. I don't really know. Who knows?
It still looks like one of the best games that's going to come out in the near future or late future, since 2 years isn't really near, but
for sure,
for a while.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that has been the Gaming Reality Show with Pelham and Saruman. And Pelham, do you want to tell a little bit about yourself, where to find you, and all those useful links?
Yeah, I don't have any of them on hand because this was just thrown at me. But contact me on Discord. Pelham #3450 is my Discord username. If you want to yell, this is for Australian and Southeast Asian people only. If you're foreign, yeah, you can contact me, but you won't be invited to my guild because we're strictly Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah. All right. And do you have a Twitter or anything like that? Social media?
Not at the moment.
Right.
Where we do have some streams coming up. Twitch TV/Pelham. There's also twitch.tv/AlkyPops. He's one of my community managers.
All right. All right. Oh, and it's
we will be streaming more and more.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Pelham. You guys know where to catch me on twitter.com/Cybermonin. I have switched actually over from Twitch to Mixer, so it was actually a big surprise. Coming back from our little vacay, I guess. My Mixer is mixer.com/Cybermonin. I really love it over there. I hope you guys come over. I put a soundboard. You guys can just troll me while I'm doing some horror games. You guys, if you want to join a gaming community that's coming up, you'll have more information on twitter.com/Cybermonin. All that information is there. That's all you can reach me at. I'm not going to say much more about that. Alright, well, this has been the Gaming Reality Show. It's been great talking to you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Have fun.
Have fun.